Good morning. You are tuned into 1100 WSGI. This is Lee Marie with The Go Show. I'm so happy you could join us today on Wednesday, August 31st, the last day of the month. And you know what that means for August? This is the last day to take advantage of the grocery sales tax exemption for the state of Tennessee. So you have until 11:59 p.m. tonight. Of course, not everything is included in that. So if you want to see the exact list, you can go ahead and look on the state site for that. But yes, today's the last day for grocery sales tax exemption. Take advantage. All right. So, Stephen, my first guest, Stephen Astier, is joining us, and he was the best dressed cowboy at the Jesse James Festival on Saturday. So I'm so glad you could join us.
That was great. We had a great time out there on Saturday in the square with Danny Atchley and the whole gang from the Historic Society. Just a great performance by the boys that came up and did their little bank robbery. It was so much fun. The guns went off. It was loud. There was smoke. There was fire.
There was real horses.
People were screaming and running, and horses were running, and it was a great bank robbery. It ended well, and no one was actually shot, which is good. It was historically accurate when that bank was robbed back in, I guess it was over in, was it Russellville? I don't know. But yeah, they did rob that bank. It was right here locally in the area, so within just a few miles away from us. There was a bank robbery. Jesse and Frank robbed a bank out there, and we are, that reenactment was a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. I'm sure the original bank robbery was just as exciting and just as scary. I don't know if they ever had to pay, if they ever were arrested for that, and I guess one of them was. But at any rate, we had a good time. We love the Old West. Mm-hmm. We love dressing up.
And it was so much fun. And, I posted a bunch of pictures from it. And I can't believe how many people called me and said, I didn't know about that, or I would have gone. And it's like, okay, guys, that just tells me you're not listening to The Go Show.
They're not listening.
And they're not listening to Laverne's show. And they need to, because we cover so many cool events that are coming up.
We do. Yeah.
And there's other ways, like you don't have to, because I know a lot of people go, I'm not up at that, that early. Well, or they don't have a radio or whatever. But you know what? You can catch the reruns on WSGI's Facebook page, their app, on YouTube.
Yeah, within an hour, they post the shows and you can watch them. So, since everything is filmed, everything we're doing is being filmed here. You can watch these within an hour after the show, and you can send them to your friends, and they can watch them.
Well, that's the thing, too. Please share the show, because there's a lot of people out there that don't even know the shows exist. And we cover so much good local information, and there's a lot of new people in town that don't know, what's going on. And so this is just a perfect way to get on that fast track to know what is going on in your local area.
Robertson County is filled with events every week. There's so many things happening, and so many good people out here in Robertson County. We know everybody, all of the folks that run the organizations and the committees, everyone out there, even our local politicians are good people out here. Mm-hmm. And they have really done a great job in producing fun events for Robertson County. And I know we've got some things coming up, like the fair, the annual fair.
Yes, and I know that Laverne's been covering it, and we will cover it more coming up, because it is later this year. Normally it is, around Labor Day, but now it is September 20th to the 24th. But let's back up a little bit and just tell them what's going on right now, because we do have some things coming up this week. Tonight is Wednesday, August 31st, and so tonight, I know there's something going on. Journey to Recovery at South Haven. So again, that's for all ages. They have childcare. They even have, you can get a ride to it. So Journey to Recovery is every Wednesday night at 7
So important for people to, family, the family gets torn apart when people are caught up in alcoholism and drug addiction. and how that hurts so many generations down the line. And it really is a big distraction from the kind of things that you could do as a family. You know, when you're involved with your children and you're raising your kids and involved with your grandkids, if you're not present and you're not there because you are drinking or you're on drugs and you're just not a present person, you're not available for people, it's just such a toll on the family. It's such a great loss. It's like not having a father at all. And so, I mean, at some sense, you know, when you can get into those recovery programs and you can get back in touch with who you really are and live in the real world and be present for your children, your grandchildren, future generations, your wife, these events and these family and community events become part of your life, where replace the old habit of drinking or whatever it might be, but getting away from that, you know. And it's not that it's just that your family needs you. You know, your sisters and your brothers need you. Your mother needs you. They want you to be part of the family. And if you're caught up in alcohol or drugs, then you can't be present for that family. Getting into a recovery program like Journey to Recovery is probably the best thing you can do. And it might be the most important step you make in your life to get back in touch with everybody. And this is good because, you know, we make a lot of mistakes if we're drinking. And those mistakes can lead to arrest. They can lead to, you know, drunk driving convictions, a loss of driver's license, maybe the loss of a job, the strain in the family.
Loss of relationships.
But the greatest loss is the loss to not being there, to not living your life, letting alcohol live your life for you, and not being available for your own life. And the missing spots, it's like you're not there. You just deleted part of your life because you were not present, because you were drunk. So let's get into recovery programs. If we're having a problem, we need to get out there. If we're starting to drink too much and we're starting to miss out on things in life, we need to take a second look at our life, and we need to get into a recovery program. Like South Haven is just specializes in this, and they've done such a great job over the years of bringing families back together again and getting people back involved in their own life and living a real life.
And, you know, like he said, you might be drinking too much, but sometimes people don't even realize that after a half a drink, they become a different person. You know, their families know that. You know, sometimes they think, oh, well, I can handle it, or, you know, I just need to take an edge off, or whatever. You know, we've heard all the excuses, but, you know, you become a different person. That's why they call it, you know, they call it spirits.
Well, if you talk to the barmaids, they'll tell you that nobody wants to work the second shift, you know, because the first shift, everybody just have their first or second drink and they're happy and they're good. But as the night goes on, people start to get meaner and drunker and more angry and more vile the more they drink.
That's right.
And that part of it is really, really a bad thing. You know, we're a genteel society, and we don't need vile, arrogant, belligerent people, you know, walking around interrupting and disrupting our gentle society, because we believe in that.
Right.
It's
Good
part of our
point.
values.
And that's, you know, one thing that we want to encourage people on the Go Show is there are so many wonderful things to do in the community. And so we want to get our families out and make those memories. And like you said, sometimes if you're, you know, involved with drug or alcohol, that is completely keeping you from going to some of these, you know, community events. And there's so much going on. So back to this week, tomorrow morning at 10:30 a.m., there will be a swearing in of our judges and all the people that just, not all of them, but a lot of them are getting sworn in at 10:30 at the courthouse, second floor of the historic courthouse. And then at 1 o'clock are the county commissioners are getting sworn in. And so those are great opportunities. You know, if you have homeschool kids or whatever, you want to show them how that happens. That would be a good outing there. I know the GOP is doing a victory lunch in between the two. This Friday we'll start out with an interview with Dr. Dale Brown, the Wild Doc. If you haven't caught him yet, you definitely need to see him.
We know that our health is so important. You know, if you're not healthy, you can't be there. You can't be present. If you're stuck in the hospital or if you're stuck in bed because you're sick, then you can't be there. So taking care of our health, you know, starts at home. It starts with what we eat. You know, it starts with what we watch. You know, what we watch on television, the kind of programming that gets into our minds and the advertisements. You know, seducing us to eat the kind of foods that are not good for us and things of this nature. So getting together with Wild Doc is always great when I talk about nutrition and prevention, because you know you can sit there and treat disease all day long and the symptoms of disease, but if you don't prevent it from happening again, then you're going to be plagued with that for the rest of your life.
No, that's an excellent point. And that's one thing he does show us is that, you know, the traditional medical industry is so much after treating the symptoms, you know, cutting it off or burning it or pulling it out, whatever. They're not into like what caused that, because what probably caused that organ to not function is going to start happening to your other organs if you don't get your spine in alignment.
Got a cascading effect of downward spiral on the health conditions, and you can turn that around. And I've seen people turn that around when they get the right kind of care. It'll be great to have Wild Doc on. Is this Friday?
Yeah, this Friday. He is on the first Friday of every month at 8 a.m. And if you haven't caught all of his shows, go to the WSGI site and Google or, you know, search for the Go Show. Wild
I always
Doc.
enjoy watching the Wild Doc.
I always learn so
He's
much.
got a lot of energy.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how he does it with all those children and his wife, but yeah, he just has plenty of energy for everybody.
Yeah, and he's a good Christian man, and you know, good Christian.
So what else
family.
we got on the list for this week?
All right, so that's Friday morning, Wild Doc Show, but then also Friday night, starting at 6 p.m. First Friday Night Market.
First Friday Night Market is something that's really exciting here, and I'm you know, since they started doing this, it's been such a big event. I'm so surprised. You know, I try to get there early because I know the lines at the trucks are going to get big. So get in there, get early if you want to get yourself a sandwich or a hamburger. And I tell you, I had one of the best hamburgers I've ever had on one of those trucks the other day. It was so good. So yeah, you come out and get some barbecue, get some hamburgers, get some ice cream. Oh, they get the ice cream trucks out there. We've had a great time with that. There's also been a hot dog wagon that comes up, and this young lady that comes up from Nashville, she's talking about how Nashville was kicking the vendors off the streets. In the city of Nashville, they're just out of control down there with their liberal agenda, and they've kicked all these street vendors off the streets. Well, that was kind of sad because you could walk down South Broadway and you could get yourself a hot dog or you get yourself a hamburger from one of these guys, and you could eat it and walk along, and then you can go into the different clubs and different shops and the museums and have a good time on South Broadway. But they've kicked these people off, and now she comes up, she told me about that, and I said felt sorry for her because she makes some of the best hot dogs I've ever had, I tell you. And she's usually there. So you look for that hot dog wagon out there Friday night, out there in the street. And also, we want to support the Historical Society, and they is a benefit for them.
The museum's always open.
The museum is always open. You can go in there and check it out. We love these old buildings with their tile designs and everything. That kind of tile work on the floor and on the walls, you don't see that kind of work. People just don't even know how to do that kind of work anymore. That kind of indoor decor that was done by hand back in the day, back in the early turn of the century. And that museum still has all that handwork done on that tile. And it is beautiful. I mean, I tried to set some tile in, and it was a disaster. So I don't know how these guys, they were the master builders that build these old buildings. And it's great that we still have some that are completely intact, like the museum there.
Yeah, if you haven't been in that museum, you definitely need to check that out. And again, it's always open for free at the first Friday Night Market. So the market does start at 6 p.m. Technically, it runs till 9, but really, I think about 8:40, it kind of is winding up. But yeah, you have to, if you want to eat, you got to get in line early because it's packed down there. They always have excellent bands that draw
It's
huge
packed
crowds.
because it is such a great event. And people can bring their kids. I see people bring their dogs out there. Now, if it's hot on the pavement, be careful. The little dogs don't burn their feet because it can get hot out there on that pavement earlier in the day. So let's be careful of that. Always watch out for the feet, for the little paws, because when we're walking around in shoes, we don't notice how hot that asphalt is, but our poor little dogs, they don't have shoes on, so they can burn their little feet. So let's be careful of that.
All right, so that is Friday. So that's this Friday again, first Friday Night Market. And you only have 2 left of the year. There's September and October, and then it goes away. So take advantage of that. GOP will have a booth near the car show. They have a car show again this time.
Yeah, the Robertson County Republican Party, they've been so influential in the last couple of elections. They've really upped their game. They had a lot of seats that were taken over in local government. They've had a lot of seats that were taken over in it. We see a red wave actually across the country right now with them, and they are strong patriots, and we really support the new seats that have come into the county. And they are great patriots, and they're good Republicans, and they're very conservative, and they want the best for Robertson County, and we're really happy with that.
Yes, you can come on by the Robertson County Republican Party booth at the First Friday Night Market and say hey and join forces, because it's a fun, real friendly group, actually. And then this Saturday, so this is technically Labor Day weekend that we're coming upon. And so Saturday morning at 8:30 a.m., the Robertson County Republican Party will do their Patriot Potluck Breakfast. And they'll be over at Purpose Life Church, 805 Memorial Boulevard in Springfield. And they meet in the back. There's a dining room in the back. So they start back there with a potluck breakfast. And then usually they have to move into the sanctuary because the crowd has been so big that, they've kind of outgrown the
Well, they have great
room.
sound in the in the sanctuary there. They've got visual and sound. They've got good speakers, and it's great. And I think that's why they moved it there, because they have such a great audio visual system.
Do you know who the
meetings.
speaker is this coming Saturday morning?
Who's the speaker this Saturday morning?
Joni Bryan of the 917 Society, because September 17th is Constitution Day.
Oh, that's great.
So she is going to be coming, and she's always an excellent speaker.
You know, it's good that people understand that we need to stand behind our Constitution before we lose it. I mean, if you take advantage of this, because there are people undermining our government right now that are trying to take away our Constitution. They're trying to say that the Constitution is just a piece of paper that old white guys wrote. Well, those old white guys gave their lives and their fortunes to bring freedom to the Americas and to free ourselves from the clutches of the European monarch. Now, authoritarians in this country are trying to reverse that and send us back underneath the European monarch. We've got European money that's flowing into Washington right now, and they are trying to influence, and they have influenced many of our Washington politicians. And what's happened here is, of course, is a reversal. Now, the authoritarians from offshore are investing in our politicians here to get them to comply with their new world order. And their new world order does not include constitutional protections of the United States. In fact, they would tell a different story. And then we are very proud of the founding fathers of America who wrote the Constitution. I'm related to one of the people who signed all 5 documents, or actually all 4 documents. And that was Roger Sherman, which is my direct ancestor. I'm proud to be the great-great-great-grandchild of a revolutionary who signed those documents to give us freedom. I'm very proud. I'm a proud patriot. And I think we have a lot of proud patriots in the audience right now. Hey, if you're a proud patriot, I want you to call Lee Marie and blow her phone up right now, because we need to hear about it. It's so important to understand that 9/17 and the Constitution Day, these people gave their lives, their fortunes. They pledged their fortunes. Now, how many people today would say, "I'll give up all my money, all my property, and I'll even give my life for liberty and freedom for everybody else in the in the country, for everybody else"? See, a lot of these guys had money. A lot of these guys had property. A lot of these guys had liberty to a certain extent, but they wanted to make sure that everybody had liberty. They wanted to make sure that it wasn't just for them. It wasn't just for the guys who were on top, the successful guys, the rulers and the governors here, who were being treated actually pretty good by the crown. They knew that something was wrong. They knew that being underneath an authoritarian crown was taking away the liberty of the people. And they knew that even if they had a good life, it wasn't good enough if they didn't have freedom. So they pledged to give their life, their money, their property, and everything. And that's what they wrote out. This is scary, because a lot of them were hung. A lot of these guys were caught, they were captured, and they were murdered by the British. To understand, a lot of them gave every single penny they had to fund the revolution, every penny. And they died paupers. They died broke, as it were. So understand. We look into that, and it's great. Go through one of those classes and find out what happened to the signers of the Declaration of Independence. Find out what happened to these guys. Find out what happened to the guys who wrote the Constitution and gave us our constitutional rights. Find out what happened to these guys. Okay, they sacrificed everything for freedom. Hey, I won't even walk too far. I mean, to get my, I try to park close, to the shop to go shopping. I mean, these guys sacrificed everything, and I got to say, we need a wake up call in America. We do. We need a wake up call. Because if we don't watch it, they're going to take away our freedoms.
And that is a great segue for the other thing that is happening this Saturday, starting at 10 a.m., the annual TFA convention. So can you talk about that a little bit?
The annual Tennessee Firearms Association meeting is going to be coming up September 3rd. That's this Saturday. And I don't know if y'all don't have your tickets yet. You want to buy them at the door. I'm sure there are some still available. I didn't check to see how many were left, but there are tickets available. You can go online to tfalac.org and buy tickets there. That's tfalac.org. Now, you can get tickets online, or you can just show up to the event. Go online and find out, I don't know, have the address in front of me, but it's going to be at the Farm Bureau Expo in Wilson County. If you just look that up, you can get directions. They are going to have a barbecue lunch. Doors open at 10. They're going to have a door giveaway prize, which is going to be an AR-15 M&P, I believe. And that is going to be a wonderful gun. I own one of these guns, and I'd like to own a second one. I need to make sure my wife has one too. These are great rifles. They can be used for hunting. They can be used for personal protection. They can be used for just about anything. They are the survival gun. And if you don't have one of these, you want to try to get yourself one. I know that they're going to have a big auction on Saturday. It's going to be great. It's going to be a silent auction, and there's going to be a live auction. And of course, the high dollar items go in the live auction. And there are many, 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 many things on this. I mean, there are, I don't know, I lost count. I thought it was 17 guns are being auctioned. The last count I saw there, and they're adding more all the time, along with many other things. Trips and other prizes. You're just going to be excited to see that.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the tfalac.org.
So Mark Green will be one of the speakers. Mark Green is the congressional representative for our district here in Robertson County. And Mark Green, I spoke with him, and he's a wonderful, wonderful man, a great doctor and a veteran and a great patriot. He's going to be speaking along with our keynote speaker for this year is going to be Eric Pratt from the Gun Owners of America. And I got to say, the Gun Owners of America have been on top of it. Boy, they have far surpassed the NRA and any other group out there. They have fought. They brought cases. So we are fighting for the Second Amendment rights across this country, and the Gun Owners of America are involved in every single state. They are really working hard, and we are proud to be partners with the Gun Owners of America. So the Tennessee Firearms Association and Gun Owners of America have a great partnership. We've signed on to what they call amicus briefs, and that is friends of the court, to stop some of the things that are going on in other states. We've got some freedom here in Tennessee, but I can tell you that freedom is very, very thin, and we have some of the strictest gun laws in the state, actually. But they are making it very difficult in states like California and New York and other states across the country, where they make it very difficult for people to buy guns. And they also make it very difficult for people to carry guns for their personal protection. And the Supreme Court has already, Clarence Thomas's Supreme Court has already said that this is wrong. He's already come out with a statement. He's already made some decisions on this. And California and New York continue to write legislation to try to get around Supreme Court decisions. Now, I'm all for states' rights. When it comes to violating the Second Amendment of the Constitution that our founders fought and died for, in a sense, they died to give us liberty. Mm-hmm. They gave their funds, they gave their life to give us liberty. And that part of that liberty is the right to keep and bear arms. Okay? And so when states are trying to take that away from us, then I have to take a second look at what they're trying to do. And I think we need to get on it right now. Mm-hmm. Remember, Biden said he's coming for your guns. He's already said that. Mm-hmm. Okay? He sent his goon squads out to try to take out the manufacturers. Well, they couldn't do that because the gun manufacturers fought back, and they didn't get anywhere with that. So they're starting to go after the business owners, the middleman, the people who try to sell our guns, the people who we buy guns from, what they call the FFLs. So the gun shops, the local gun shops like Guns and Leather in Greenbrier. Well, Biden's got his goon squads out there coming after these guys. They're trying to stop them from being able to renew their permits. So they won't be able to sell guns. If that's the case, then people won't be able to buy guns. So they're going to say, well, you can still have a gun, you can still carry a gun, but you won't be able to buy one anywhere because we're going to put the gun sellers out of business. So that's the current attack right now. That the administration, Biden's administration, is coming after these guys in the middle.
All right, so it's 8:30, so I'm going to run one of our sponsor spots right now for you. So let's hear about Southside.
I'm going to say thank you.
Located at 1000 Main Street in the heart of downtown historic Springfield lies the Southside Drug Company, which has delivered hometown-friendly service since 1919. They offer medication therapy management, compression stocking fittings, nebulizers, monthly care packs in which you can get your medications rolled into strips of perforated packs, and free delivery within city limits. And my favorite, a healthy cafe for breakfast and lunch on weekdays. Store hours are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. For more information, visit SouthsideDrugCo.com. Be sure to tell them Lee Marie sent you.
All right, you are listening to 1100 WSGI. This is Lee Marie at The Go Show. My current guest is Stephen Astier. He is one of the co-chairmen of the Robertson County chapter of the Tennessee Firearms Association. And if you have never heard of that group, please go to their website, the TennesseeFirearmsAssociation.com website, and check them out because they, on that website, are doing just some amazing. John Harris actually is the leader, and he is an attorney, and he is doing amazing work on that website. I mean, there's so many resources there of what's going on, and he actually is going to be the speaker at the September meeting, September 12th, because the Second Amendment here in Robertson County meets on the second Monday at 6 p.m. at the American Legion in Greenbrier, and so John Harris will be speaking at that one. But in the meantime, you can get on out this Saturday. The doors open at 9, but I don't think anything starts really getting going until like 10:15. I know that you can go in early, though, to take a look at the silent auction items, which are always awesome. But do you have anything else that you want to say about that?
Yeah, that event on September 3rd, this Saturday, is at 945 East Bador Parkway, Lebanon, Tennessee, 37087. Okay, so that's 945 East Bador Parkway. That is the James E. Ward Agricultural Center at the Farm Bureau Expo Center. So if you want to understand, that is, doors open at 9. Get there. They still have tickets available. So go online, get your tickets, or show up at the door and get your tickets. But remember, showing up at the door to get your tickets is a little bit iffy. But
well, and last
we try
year,
to get
I remember
everybody in. There was
a long line because we had one person in our party that didn't have a ticket last time. We were like,
that's
oh,
right.
Man.
We had to get him a ticket.
It was really a long line. So, tickets are $60, but it's a great donation to people who are protecting. I mean, all of they're volunteers.
Yeah, John Harris is the Tennessee State Director of the Tennessee Firearms Association. He is a very hardworking attorney. He's a great lobbyist, and we've been working here for I guess 12 years. Not myself, since I just started about 4 years ago, but for about 12 years now, they have really fought to try to protect Tennesseans' Second Amendment rights. We have a Second Amendment in the Tennessee State Constitution that pairs or matches the Second Amendment of the United States Constitution. So we have our own Second Amendment here in the state, which also says people have the right to keep and bear arms. Now, they also say that the government has a right to regulate that. We have some legislation on the books that we're working on right now, and we write legislation every year for the politicians, try to help them understand how to fulfill the right to keep and bear arms in the state of Tennessee. Because it is, as you say, the first article of the state constitution for Tennessee says that the people have an obligation to inform their elected officials as to what the Constitution says and how to write legislation to be in line with that Constitution. And we take that very seriously. And it says that the people do not perform this duty that they are obligated to perform, that they are considered lazy. As it says that right in the Constitution, it says that we are lazy and we deserve what we get. Basically, in very flowery language, that's what they wrote in the Tennessee State Constitution, Article 1. So Article 1, Tennessee State Constitution says we are obligated to inform our politicians as to what they need to be right.
And I think a lot of our problems today are because people have just been so complacent. So it's time to get involved. This Saturday is a perfect opportunity. I'm wearing my Keep Calm, Carry On TFA shirt, which I actually did get at that event last year. So if you're looking for some fun shirts and stuff like that as well, I mean, they got so much at their auction. So
yes, liberty is at stake here. Freedom is at stake. When we saw, look what happened in Australia and other countries when they gave up their gun rights. They lost their First Amendment right. They cannot speak out anymore against their government. The First Amendment will follow the Second Amendment. So if you lose your Second Amendment rights, you will lose your First Amendment rights. Now, people think First Amendment rights only means that you can't say bad things about the government. No, it's a lot more than that. It's what you can wear, what you can drive. It extends so far into your life, you would not believe what will be taken away from you if you lose your First Amendment rights. You will lose so much more than just your right to complain. I can tell you, it is connected to so many things in areas in your life. It's connected to how your children are educated, what your children can write in school, what your children can do, where they can go, what kind of organizations you can belong to. Your First Amendment rights encompass basically every part of your life, and you cannot lose that right. They lost their Second Amendment rights because they gave them up in Australia, and immediately they lost their First Amendment right, and they have nothing now. They've taken away everything. Authoritarians have taken them over, and you see complaints all the time. I see online people complaining all the time. I say, well, they gave up their guns. When they gave up their guns, they lost everything else.
Yep. That is so true, and it's so important. So if that is not inspiration enough for you to go this Saturday, and if you can't make it this Saturday, then definitely September 12th, 6 p.m. at the American Legion right here in Greenbrier. So that is a Patriot Potluck on the 12th.
Yes, every second Monday of the month, we have a Patriot Potluck in Greenbrier, right here in our own town. It's right there on Memorial Boulevard on the right when you're going down towards Goodlettsville. It's right there. Very, very close. What is it? 4 miles outside of Springfield. It's not very far at all. Anybody can get down there. We always have a full house. I can tell you, it is packed. You will meet your friends and your family down there. You'll meet neighbors.
And it's
down
all
there.
Ages, and it's free. So,
it's all ages. It's free. Some people don't even leave a dog at home. They bring a little dog with them. It's great. Now we always have a little raffle. We always give away some prizes. We have a good time. We always have a great speaker. We've had some of the truly great speakers out here.
Yeah, last time we had Dr. Omar Hamada. So you missed that. You're gonna have to wait for
Dr.
a while
Omar
again.
Hamada, great Patriot, veteran, Special Forces. Retired. He's amazing, great Patriot, and again, he's reinforced some of the things here. We've got an out of control federal government who's really coming after, and the problem with this is that they don't represent the people anymore. They represent foreign interests. They've taken foreign money, and they represent foreigners, people who are not Americans and they are not patriots, and they're funded by these people. They're funded by the enemies of America. And so when I say, look they're coming after us because we are Americans. We stand proud to be patriots in America. And the people who hate America have funded some of these Washington politicians and these Washington agencies, and they're coming after us.
All right. Well, speaking of fine patriots, there is one waiting to come on, and I know you have to get out to work, so I really appreciate you coming on. Stephen Astier.
Thank you, Lee Marie. We'll see you all on Saturday.
Yes, see you all on Saturday. If you want to see fabulous pictures of him in his wonderful vintage cowboy outfit, go to the Lee Marie Facebook page, and you can see some amazing photos. I think my favorite photo of the whole weekend was a close-up of him in his cowboy outfit because it just looks amazing. amazing. So Lee Marie Facebook page, my profile picture is just a little white circle, and in black print it says put God at the center of everything. So if you are looking for my Facebook page, that's how you can find it. As Debra is getting settled in, we're going to hear from our last sponsor here, the Health Kick.
The Health Kick Store is here to help you with your allergies and many other health concerns naturally. The Health Kick Store has been serving our community since 1993 and is our area's largest vitamin and herb provider. They are located at 511 Memorial Boulevard, Springfield, Tennessee, right next door to UPS. And guess what, seniors? You get 15% off every first Tuesday of the month. For more information, call 615-384-7482 or visit thehealthkick.com.
All right. Health Kick Store. We love them. And they are right next door to UPS, where you can also find some of our favorite friends working.
Come and say hi.
That's right. Come in and say hi. And also, if you have calendar items that you would like to be considered for the Go Show, you can drop them off with Debra or Stephen at UPS, because they will get them to me for the next Go Show if they're appropriate and if we have time. Obviously, we can't cover everything because there is so much going on in the county. And of course, also we try to only cover real family friendly types of events.
Yes.
So, but anyways, yes, this is the Go Show, and we're talking about things that are happening. There was a couple other Friday items that I wanted to mention before we talk to our Miss Beautiful Debra Grant.
Please, yes. I was enjoying all the conversation. I thought,
Oh, well, good.
so much we didn't know.
I know, huh? That's why I love the Go Show too, because it forces me to look up all the information and find out about stuff. Although, a lot of it I did know about, but there's so much. And of course, every Friday night over at Authentic Coffee.
Bluegrass.
Amazing bluegrass. I mean, in 3 different locations, and it's free admission. You can get some fabulous desserts and stuff. And Authentic Coffee will be one of the stops on Experience Robertson County on September 10th. So, but you can check them out early this Friday night, about 6 o'clock it starts-ish. Another thing that we did cover, Journey to Recovery, which happens Wednesday nights at South Haven. But also there is an Al-Anon meeting that meets every Friday night, 7 p.m. at Covenant Confirmers Church.
Yes. I'm going to be checking them out Sunday. So
Awesome. And that's
Pastor Ron
also...
Baptiste. They have meetings every night. I didn't realize that.
Do they?
So, yeah, it's pretty
Wow.
amazing ministry.
Excellent. So that's also known as the Motorcycle Church. It's at 300 10th Avenue in Springfield. And it says, enter through the front doors. For more information on the Al-Anon meeting, you can call 615-347-6905. And again, Al-Anon is a 12-step support group for families and friends of alcoholics, because we know something like that affects everyone that is involved.
Yes.
So like we said earlier in the show, take care of this now, because you have relationships in your family that are being ruined because of alcohol or drugs. And so get plugged into one of these and start living your life, because there's so much to do in Robertson County. All right.
Yes, well, just even a comment on that, it affects the whole family and friends, and people don't realize they isolate themselves and they think they're the only one going through those things, and they're embarrassed and they're ashamed and they don't want to, tell anyone, but get out there and get some support and be support. And you'll just realize, and we don't want to just put the addicts and alcoholics and that type of thing down, but we want to learn how to speak life over them and how to pray for them and how to keep ourselves from having the life sucked out of you as well, because you do need to set boundaries, healthy boundaries, but you can love the person without enabling them.
Exactly. And like you said, some people think they're alone in this battle, and they're not.
They're not. And that's for all of the different things, from mental illnesses. There's studies and things that I've done with the bipolar. There's just, people don't realize in the caretaker or the friends and family that are trying to love these people without enabling them, their life sometimes is just exhausted. So we want to tap in their support groups at Northcrest Hospital as well.
Okay.
For those things. So I don't know, I'm throwing that out there.
Yeah, get plugged in. I mean, there's like you said, we need people to be walking alongside people, and sometimes people have someone in their family that has an addiction or some type of mental illness, and that person that is just feeling so abused, they don't even realize sometimes.
Well, they don't realize that they are,
Right.
because they're so concerned, and sometimes they get angry and they get hurt, and
or they're caretaking.
they're caretaking, or they're just exhausted, and a lot of times the finances are completely depleted as well.
Mm-hmm.
And there are resources out there to give you support with other people,
Mm-hmm.
and probably some healthy ideas to help set some good boundaries and keep
Mm-hmm.
yourself a little more safe
Right.
from all of these things. Pastor Ron Baptiste from the Covenant Confirmers is an old friend, and he's, someone I knew a long, long time ago. He's amazing what he's done with that, and I think he's one of the largest recovery groups out there. He's got something going on almost every night to support families that are trying to come up out of that and be victorious in their life and put it behind them.
That is awesome.
So he just came in the store yesterday. I'm like,
did he?
oh my gosh. So
That is great. That is great. And then one last calendar item before we go into some health advice is make sure you have September 10th on your schedule, because that is Experience Robertson
can't wait. It's
County.
gonna be so fun.
And it goes from about 9 to 4, and that's the one. Remember, you take your little passport around, you get stamped at 11 different places, go back to the square for a cash prize drawing. But there's some great things. I mean, my favorite stop is definitely going to be Murph's Country Music Barn out in Cedar Hill, 3336 Winters Road. You can start there. But I know from 2 to 4, Crystal's going to be doing line dance classes. So, oh my
So
gosh.
fun.
Yeah,
So
I'm
fun.
definitely
Great
going to be there.
exercise.
So I'm
And family atmosphere.
Exactly. And, Murph's is, of course, open every Saturday night. For that, they open, and I think the line dance classes start at 6:30. The band starts at 7:30, and you can get food there, very reasonable priced, and just a great family atmosphere. All ages are welcome. I think the cover is $7 on Saturday nights. That is my favorite place to go on a Saturday night in Robertson County, and so you can check them out at Experience Robertson County in the daytime on that Saturday. It's sometimes easier to find them in the daytime.
Yeah. But free dance lessons are even $7. And how do you get this passport that you're going to get stamped? Where do you get
Well,
that?
I believe that all of the
Chamber?
11 locations are going to have some, so that you could start actually at any location.
Okay.
I believe, because I know Murph said they had some. So I don't know if only certain ones
I can't
did.
remember last time I was one of the stores. So
Okay. And then I
Okay.
think you can get them also at the chamber or, downtown in the square.
that was fun.
So,
I,
yeah.
I found so many new places I didn't know were there,
I
and I
know,
have
it's
frequented them.
great.
The
Yeah.
purpose is to support your local community, and we want to invest in our own community.
That's
Don't
right.
order always on Amazon and all these,
That's right.
purchase from your own neighbors. We have a lot of mom and pop businesses, and you can support them, and it's fun, and there's a lot more out there than we realize. So.
Exactly. No, that is an excellent point. Thank you so much. So once again, that is September 10th. It is a Saturday, and it is right here in Robertson County, and we hope that you will go. They pick one location in each municipality. So that is that. So, Miss Debra, I know you've got some things that the Lord has put on your heart. So
Well,
let's
see.
see.
I have been getting calls and texts and emails. You know that I'm a holistic health coach. I've done this 27 years. And I have a lot of fun with it, because it's nice to be 60 years old. I'm just owning that now.
You're not 60.
And being able to just, have no pain,
You
all
do not
the
look 60.
medications, and keeping up with the 30-year-olds, and sometimes the 30-year-olds have more issues than I do. So, but I have a lot of friends that have been with me a long time, and was speaking with Miss Shirley Green from Nashville last night, and she says, she says, I am 79 years old, and she said 20 years ago when I first met you, she had her bladder, how they're kind of, what do they call it, fallen down, and they wanted to do surgery. She had osteopenia. Anyway, they didn't even want her to walk, exercise. They were afraid her bones were that brittle. And she had a detached retina. And she had a lot of other things, but she has been on our program now 20 years. She is 79. She said she doesn't wear any of those diaper things. She's still wearing a low, high heel. She's, the people at church are looking at her like, what are you doing? And she's beautiful. And she's still walking. She's walking at a gym, and they thought she had surgery on her eyes, which she never did. So I thought, you need to write down your testimony. I need that, And then we had another local friend that sent a text, said, oh my goodness, I haven't been able to sleep, and I was able to sleep the first night on blah, 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 And so basically, it's empowering people to realize there's choices out there to healthcare and to take charge. Sometimes you need traditional medicine, sometimes you need naturopathic and, herbal. There's all kind of choices out there, and we just like to, educate people. And then we have a free health survey. I talked to another couple last night, and you can get that where you can fill that out, freefirewellness.com, freefirewellness.com, and you can have a holistic health coach call you back, and it's a free, kind of get you a setting point with an evaluation, and you want to answer those questions to where you are in the last 30 days, not lifetime, but the last 30 days, so that we can get a starting point with you and do some recommendations on, how to eat and how to supplement and all of those things. And just, it's a lot of fun. So just hearing these testimonies.
Well, I remember watching, and I see your book right there, Dead Doctors Don't Lie.
Such a mess.
What? Oh my gosh. This was the first thing I
use
did.
it.
When you sent me that, the website, that was the first thing that I did was I went to that. It's actually an audio.
Listen to it
And
first.
listened to that. And boy, did I learn so much. And then I actually went to YouTube and looked up some more stuff on him about, Dr. Wallach. And I was just blown away. And it made so much sense because I was paying extra money for certain things being organic. And I thought, oh, okay, this has all the nutrients I need. And then I learned, and it made so much sense that the soil now is depleted of a lot of those nutrients that we used to get and we don't get anymore. And once you introduce those back into your diet, amazing things happen.
They do. Let me just go ahead and give some of those suggestions, because we had someone who is a nutritionist that came on our program. We do a Zoom every Monday night, and it's free to get on as well. You can connect with me or Lee Marie, get that information. But she talked about, and she's a vegetarian, which I personally don't recommend vegetarian, but anyway, Dr. Wallach doesn't. But she also eats some of the you'll eat the fish and that type of thing. But she said that you have the dirty dozen, and these are ones that you do want to purchase organic, because organic just kind of means it's pesticide free. It's, you're going to spend a little bit more. Doesn't necessarily mean if the soil isn't good, you're still not getting the nutrition you need. So that's another story. But she said the dirty dozen that you want to buy organic is going to be your strawberries, your spinach, your kale, collards, nectarines, apples, grapes, peppers, cherries, peaches, pears, tomatoes, and celery. Now, I love all of those. Well, most of them, I don't know about them collard greens, but
One thing about strawberries that I did, because I was
love
reading an
strawberries.
article about them, I had a white bowl and I used a strainer on top of the white bowl. And I just tested to see how many times I could wash the strawberries and still get dirt in the bowl.
oh, wow.
And these were not strawberries that I grew. I got them from the store. They looked clean, but I don't know. It was like 3 or 4 times until the bowl was actually clean. So yeah, those are dirty. So make sure that you wash those well too.
And you can soak things like your apples and that type of stuff, even grapes, in a vinegar water, kind of get some of that waxy residue off if they put it on there to make the product look a little better. But again, the ones you need to spend the extra money are strawberries, spinach, kale, collards, nectarines, apples, grapes, peppers, cherries, peaches, pears, tomatoes, and celery. And she went on to say that they're soaked in this stuff. They're soaked in these chemicals.
And also, I saw a video. I don't know if it's true, but I saw a video where they were painting apples.
I've seen that, and even lettuce and stuff.
Is
So you have
that
to be
real?
careful getting some of the stuff out of our country.
Because they were saying like red apples sell better than yellow apples, so they were taking yellow apples and having like people paint them. Oh my goodness!
It's crazy, some of the stuff.
How
but,
can they get away with this? Kind of
I don't know. But that's a good question.
Anyway, okay,
now
so what's
ones
the other
that you
list?
can don't need to buy organic.
Okay.
And this kind of surprised me. You have your avocado, but sweet corn surprised me. So sweet corn, avocado, pineapples, onions, papaya, frozen peas, asparagus, honeydew melon, kiwi, cabbage, mushrooms, cantaloupes, mango, watermelon, sweet potatoes. So those are okay to not spend that extra money because they are relatively clean of all pesticides and chemicals, which I found very interesting.
But I know you want to wash those mushrooms because that's another one.
Oh,
I get
you
a lot
wanna
of dirt.
Wash anything.
You want to wash them all.
But spending the extra money to buy organic
Gotcha.
because you're concerned about the pesticides and insecticides.
Gotcha.
These were the lists.
And
so.
speaking of pesticides, Roundup is just a
That's awful.
lesser, formula of Agent Orange. Someone said, they said
Oh, wow.
Agent Orange is like, you know, a
Well,
stronger
they've got
Roundup.
lawsuits.
And
Class
so, you
action.
know, those of you that are still using Roundup, you really shouldn't.
We need to find better alternatives, don't we? And I think it's a good idea to be prepared to maybe grow your own gardens. And then you can get our blooming minerals from our company and put back in the soil what it's
Now,
been
how does
depleted.
that work? Because I have never used those blooming.
You can get them and just mix it in your
With your
soil,
soil?
with your
Oh,
yeah.
okay. So it puts some
kind
of
of
the
like a
nutrients back
fertilizer,
in.
but it's puts the nutrients
okay.
that
Remind
have
me
been
next
depleted.
spring to do that because, you know, this season's over now.
Yeah, you can get a small thing, you can get a bag, you can get. I mean, we have one gentleman that uses it in the tanker trucks for the Amish because they use it for all their gardens, and who has yummy produce and things we go to get from the Amish and the Mennonites and all of that. So
All right. So what else do you got? We have about 5 minutes left.
I would encourage people to fill out the free health evaluation because it gives us a starting point in all the different areas. And that's freefirewellness.com. And I did a tour one time with Dr. Wallach on the Black Gene Lies, and this is a really neat book.
Black Gene Lies.
Yeah, this one's signed by Dr. Milan and Dr. Wallach. And I do know all these people personally. They are real. They're the real deal. He's given his whole life to empower people. He's done this for 50 years, 60 years. This cassette has sold millions. But this one is Black Gene Lies Slave Quarter Cures. And I also met Jennifer Daniels, one of the ones here. Just beautiful, beautiful people. And there are so many cures. A lot of people think they have to spend a lot of money for things, and it's just like home remedies in this book. So this is another book that you can
I
get
love
to.
stuff like that.
I know, it's like cool. I'm thinking, do what? Kerosene? You know, so there's some interesting things in there. But the
Right.
basic preface is that the medical doctors will tell you that because of the color of your skin, you're more prone to blood pressure and diabetes and all of these things. And it's a lie. It is a lie. Remember that we went there and Dr. Wallach spoke at TSU, and this was a few years back when we traveled, and just shared, because you don't want to believe that lie. You want to realize that there are choices to healthcare. You have arthritis, lack of energy, diabetes, high blood pressure. I like Dr. Glidden too. He's got a book called Attempt to Cure, Holistic Cure. And you can look in the back of that book and you can look things up, even, you know, cancer and all these things in there, and give you some ideas how to combat it a little bit more naturally. And if you're concerned, follow along with your medical doctor. We're not telling you don't go see them, but we are encouraging to realize there are some other choices out there. And I personally have people that were given 2 months to live, and they've been with me now 22 years. And so that's pretty amazing. Or they were supposed to have knee replacement or neck surgery for bulging disc. One of your principals, oh my gosh, his name has slipped my mind now, but he was a principal out in Adams, and he had 2 bulging discs in his neck, and he didn't have to have the surgery.
Wow. Yeah.
So, you know, there are some things that just give your body building blocks to repair and heal itself. And that's the main preface.
Awesome. Well, that took us to 4 minutes till. I
I know.
cannot believe that.
Woohoo, we just
But no,
went
those are all
fast.
good reminders, because I have been starting to see a lot more things come out, you know, about like colloidal silver and lemon and
Yeah,
just
and
things that you
collagen,
have in your
peptides.
house. And so there are a lot of things, and you know, a lot of that got brushed under the rug because people couldn't make money out of it. You can't patent a lot of that natural stuff,
Right.
But a lot of it is excellent for you. So find
Yes.
out what those things are, and definitely go to freefirewellness.com.
Yes.
Click on Dead Doctors Don't Lie. Watch that audio today, or listen to that
to
audio
first,
today,
and then fill out the health survey.
And at the end, scroll down, find the health survey for free. Take it. It emails you back your results.
Yes.
And then if you want a health coach, certified holistic health coach, to call you and recommend things or talk to you, that can happen. And that's all free. So there's no excuse for you not getting healthier today.
Yeah, a
right?
lot of
Today is
people.
the day. Don't keep putting it off.
Change. If you want to change, if you want to be able to run, skip, jump at 60 years old or 70 years old, like all my friends, still driving, still have their vision, not wearing diapers. As Miss Shirley Gritz says, I've not worn a diaper all day in my life, you know, and she had bladder problems before. I mean, they thought they were going to do surgery. So.
Well, see, and that's the thing. A lot of people just accept things and say, oh, I'm getting old.
Yes,
But it's
no.
not. You don't have to do that. I mean, we technically were created to live to what, 120 or something?
120 years, you know.
120.
Yeah, I've been in I call it the anti-aging business, but also blessed to be a blessing. I've been blessed with this information, and I want to share it to bless other people.
So it is possible to start, what is it, turning back
Yes,
the
pay
clock
it forward.
of age.
Pay it forward. But it's a lot easier to get in and prepare and build your immune system up and be healthy than to wait until you have depleted things and broken down, and you have to try to come back in and repair and rebuild. It's a little tougher.
Yeah, that's a good point, because you still see people walk around with masks and being like paranoid and stuff. And I want to say, you know what, you need to breathe oxygen and you need to be taking care of your immune system. That's the number one way to avoid getting some of these, sicknesses that are around is building up that immune system. And that is one thing that Dr. Dale Brown, Wild Doc, will be talking about this Friday on the Go Show. So there's plenty of resources out there. Please share this video so that your friends, I know everybody's got some friends that they wish they were a little bit healthier.
Yes, and the masks are another note, because if you feel like you need to wear it when you're, in public, but don't keep it on in the car, don't wear it at home. It causes respiratory problems. It's causing a lot of respiratory problems, and especially with young children, or adults, they're fearful, and they've got it on. I purposely don't want to wear that and don't and you haven't, and because it causes you to have the carbon monoxide, and you're just you're going in. Just think about it. Short term, okay, you're uncomfortable, but don't. I've seen people wear them in the car, Lee Marie, and they're by themselves, and I'm going,
they're out walking on the street, and
you've got fresh air on the street, peeps.
Yeah, you need to breathe and get that oxygen. All right, so we are at 9:00. Would you like to pray over our group?
Sure.
Thank you.
Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this opportunity, Lord, to share life and to share your words of life, that we can. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, Lord, and we have what we speak. So that's another thing, Lord. I thank you that you've given us the power of your words to speak life over our bodies, in addition to showing us, Father God, the natural law and how to take care of our bodies, our temples, Lord, that we carry, Father God, so that we can do more for your glory and to glorify you in our bodies and in our lives, Lord. And I thank you for this show, the Go Show with Lee Marie, and I thank you for all the things that she is doing to bless this community, Lord, and I thank you for increasing the hearers of this program, and we just give you all the glory for today, for guiding our steps. Thank you for the Holy Spirit, and for just setting your hand on us, that we'll will to do of your good pleasure this day, to your glory. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you. That was beautiful. And I do want to remind people, if you missed any part of this show, please go onto the WSGI Facebook page or app. And if you have an Android phone and you can't hear the sound well, for some reason, if you plug headphones in, you can hear it.
Oh, well, good, because I have an Android.
Yeah, so I'm not quite sure why that happens. You can hear the music fine, then when the words start, they get gerbled. So, but if you plug it in, or if you watch it on a computer or a tablet, it seems to be fine. So if you have an Apple, don't worry, it comes in fine. But anyways, yes, I'm sure all of you know somebody that could benefit from something that was in today's show. So again, make those memories with your family. Get out. There's so many things happening this Friday night. We will see you at the Friday night market. And then, of course, Saturday, we have the GOP breakfast in the morning, followed by a TFA big convention annual event starting right after that. There'll be a bunch of us just booking out of there pretty early. But anyways, we hope you have a blessed day. You have been listening to 1100 WSGI. Thank you, Deborah Grant, for joining me. And thank you, Stephen Astier.
Yes, he did a great job.
God bless.